So this is what we've got today. I haven't had many Commodores in this model. So she's going to be a 202. Is that two-tone or primer? I guess we'll find out. I don't know. She's been folded down. Oh. And by the look of that set of mirrors and this amazing bed, a bed frame that's been made into a roof rack, I would say she was all business, this one. Right. Oh, she's all business, all right. Is she the 4-speed? That's something different. But she's grubby, really grubby. You got any keys? No keys. How about in there? Nope. A few cigars. What am I trying to put that back for? No keys there. Oh, can I be so lucky? Win. She loves me. It is two-tone. Look, that's blue. That roof is supposed to be two-tone. How many Ks? Oh, mint. 171 300. She's brand new. The bull bar's going. That's I guess the first thing. And she got some late model hubcaps on her. So what's this, you Commodore boys? What's that? VB or VC? That's the extent of my knowledge. There she is, the 202. 202 4-speed. She's all there though, got a stromming on it. This looks like an early one. I'm going to say VB. And the only reason I'm saying that is because of that earlier motor and carburetor. There we go, right there. So I can do three things at once. 80 VB. A 1980 VB wagon. What is all the blue stuff? Oh, that's a seat cover that's just literally, I make the joke about stuff turning to dust. That ain't no joke, that's turned to dust. Oh. Anyone that's seen one of my previous videos knows the relevance of that. Spark plugs. I already know what we're doing first job, looking for spark. Now, the single and sole reason I've bought this car is of course the 4-speed. No, it's the bed. That is some world-class redneckery at its finest. The only way that could be better is if there was a mattress keeping your cargo comfortable while you drove. But seriously, all jokes aside, the reason I bought it was the 4-speed. Oh, don't tell me. Oh. panicking. No, it's fine. Do you reckon it's been sitting in the sun a while? Just went to take the steering wheel cover off because it was disgusting and it turned to dust. Kind of like the seat cover. I don't think she's going to like this, but here we go. I'm going to have to move the trailer. I've got no steering whatsoever. It's about to get very, very sketchy. I can't steer it, so it's going one way. You just watch that side there, see if I can get it on that ramp. I still got to come over a mile. I'm going to hit that ramp. Just. But we have an exhaust. I'll just force it. Got it. Watch that side, because if it goes bad, that's where it's going to go bad. I've got to get up on that ramp. Nailed it. But straight after I got the Commodore home, we ran into a little bit of a hurdle. We had a quick visit from the Hunter River, which wouldn't have normally been an issue, except it was a lot higher than we've ever seen before, and we weren't home. So if you've seen the recovery videos, it got everything. Cars, bobcat, golf carts. Obviously the Commodore was one of them. So where I thought I'd be finding spark as the first job, it was actually draining water. Wow, that is a lot. Like that's overflowing a 5-litre container. And I haven't seen one drop of oil yet. That's still going. That's ridiculous. Why am I finding that so funny? Oh, there's the first sign of oil. How much water can a 202 hold? Here we go. We're starting to get some oil. Wow. That was a lot of water. Geez, that oil stinks of fuel. She's had it hard like this one. I don't know why I find that so funny. Probably won't find it so funny when it's locked up solid. Won't turn over and then won't run. But anyway, for now I found that very funny. Anyway, we'll get these plugs out. See if the cylinders are full of water and see if it'll roll over. I do like labeling the plug leads as you take them off, especially something that's been wet, because I'll probably have these plugs in and out 4 or 5 times, maybe 100, because you're going to foul plugs if there's a bit of moisture and shit in there. But let's get them out and see what they look like. That was a lot of water. Not that bad, really. It's black. Like, well, not that bad. That is terrible, but I expect it to be full of water. Maybe those valves are shut in that cylinder. One of these will be impressively horrid. That's got water on it, but still not horrid. Listen to me sounding disappointed that it's not covered in rust and water. I should be excited. Yay! No water. You can see the water level was above the air filter because that's silt. Still no water. There has to be at least one set of valves open, so one of them's going to be impressively terrible. But it's not that one either. Righto. It's got to be behind door 6. That's a good start. None of them are full of water. Number 2 had water in it, but it wasn't. I've seen worse is what I'm saying. Let's blow some air into those pots and see what I get out of them. So you do the old OH&S squint. Nothing. Tiniest bit in. Oh, I've got no air. Three had the open valve. Tiny bit in 4. Probably a leaking valve. Oh. It's safe to say 3 and 5 had open valves. 6 is pretty good. That's another good sign. There's 3 pistons right at the top. I'm literally sitting on the piston there. So it didn't have a lot of water in it. Ah, that one's at the bottom of the... Anyway, we'll give it a roll. Get the air cleaner off and blow that carby out and give it a roll over. It's got H2 stamped on the battery. How battery dating works is you don't have like J for January, because that also could be June, July. So they do it alphabetically, like A is January, B is February. So what's H? It's like the 10th letter, is it? I'm not going to do it on my fingers, but in my head I am. About the 10th month, and a 2 will be, it's either 2002, 2012 or 22. I'm just looking at it, ain't 22, so I wonder if there's anything in the glove box. Maybe some paperwork. Oh geez, give us an idea. Well, no, there's no paperwork in the glove box. That doesn't give me any confidence at all though. Spark plugs, and are they points? Oh goody, we have plugs, points and a rotor button in there. That should make it easy. Can't see any. Yep, there's plenty. It was coming out that charcoal canister. Yeah. Charcoal canister's full of water too, look. That's the charcoal canister. They're a pathetic attempt at, you know, emissions shit. And the hose runs over, there, the hose runs from the carburetor, venting into that. And as I'm blowing air into that, it's just pouring out the bottom. I'm gonna just pull on this fan and see if you watch the balancer, see if it moves or whether I just slip the belt. Oh, like all good 202s, rolling over. No, I was going to say really simply, but that's... Is it still going? It's got a couple of hard spots though. Oh, jeez, it's stuck there. Oh, got it. Come on. So right there's a hard spot. That could be valve train though, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a rusted bore. Oh, there's a couple of hard spots. But it rolls over. These old 202s are pretty hard to kill, but life's had a go at this one. Left in the paddock for God knows how long, and then I drag it home and drowned it. Anyway, it's like, leave me in the paddock, man. No, you're better off here, even if you are full of water. Anyway, let's get something done on it. No use checking that. Oh, jeez. You know it's a bad sign when the dipstick's rusty. I'm sorry, old girl, you'll have to wait. I've got about 6 more to drop the water out of. That's it for now, but your turn's coming very soon. And I guess then I had to prioritise getting water out of everything and getting some running and driving. So the poor old Commodore just had to sit and wait a turn. And to give you a bit of a timeline, the rego sticker in the back window says 2005. So not only now has it sat for a couple of decades in a paddock, then went underwater. That was actually now 11 months ago I drained the water out of the motor. So she's definitely waited her turn. And if you feel like I'm priming you for failure, this could be the one that I can't get running. So let's stop talking and get something done to the poor old wagon. So why has it taken me 11 months to get back to the old girl? Just prioritise. There was a lot more expensive cars and a lot more expensive motors that went under. And I didn't want to lose any of them, so I had to prioritise them. There's the 2005 last registered sticker. But there's no real paperwork. The glove box is finally dried out. Oh, there's 2 rotor buttons. Anyway, and our brand new points are now rusted. Excellent. Anyway, I think we've done enough looking through it. How about we just try and get it running? We'll start with seeing if it still rolls over. And why I say see if it still turns over is obviously we turned it over before, but you can see the mud on top of the rocket cover. This was full to the top, and I would say if it doesn't roll over now, see how again I'm priming you for failure? I'd say the valve train would be hung up, because the valves would have had water in the intakes and in the exhaust. It was above that level, and I haven't really been able to, well, I haven't taken the manifolds off and blown them out. I only blew air into the cylinders, put WD into the cylinders, but that doesn't dry out the valve. So anyway, stop talking, let's just start pulling some shit apart and start seeing if we can get this rolling over. Why I'm starting with the air cleaner I don't know, but I just want it off, out of the way. Doesn't shock me, it's not going over. I'll get something to jam in that balancer. So I just jammed 2 bolts here in the balancer, and I just got a bit of a screwdriver hanging off it, and I can't get it to move, which doesn't shock me. But I don't reckon it's the bores. I WD'd them down. It'll be valve train, so I'll knock that cover off. Well, that's random. That was hanging out the front, and I thought, well, that's for the bonnet pull. There. It's attached to the bonnet. What's that doing? Nothing. Anyhow. Do you follow what I mean? I'm just doing some general maintenance now. Do you follow what I mean about the valve train being stuck? If one of the valves is stuck open or closed to the point where it literally won't let the push rod move, that means the camshaft won't move, which means it'll lock the whole motor up. So we're going to start by beating on the gently beating on the valves straight after I correct this ridiculously weird bonnet thing. There we go. Now it actually might do something. Righto, rocket cover off. Stop talking. There's a certain level of apprehension here. What are we going to find? I would say mud, dirt, silt. Of course we're going to find some crap. Why can't I get that off? That's caught on the water neck. Okay, at first glance, and I can't show you yet because I can't get it off. Don't ruin that gasket, Michael. I'll just massage that fuel line out of the way. Always use the right tool for the job. If it works, it's the right tool. Destroyed the gasket. Never mind. That is not as bad as I expected. I expected silt, like this type of silt all through there actually. Apprehension level diminished just a tiny bit. Let's hit on some valves. So all we're going to do to free up the valves is I'm going to try and put some WD on the stem of the valve here, look. So it doesn't matter what sort of lube, but if you can get some lube in around the stem of the valve, hopefully it'll start to slide down the valve. And then I'm going to hit on top of on the actual rocker, which will push the valve down, and hopefully as the valve depresses, the lube runs down that valve guide and down the stem of the valve, and we end up with 3 valves. Ooh, well, some of them aren't stuck, that's for certain. I can move them with my hands. Oh, that one's just stuck. That one moved but didn't come back. Alright, stop dicking about. Come on, hit them. And you'll hear the difference of the stuck ones, and just hitting them right above the rocker. Can't get to them. That one's loose, so that one's definitely stuck. Either that, or we've got a worn, can't even talk, worn cam lobe. One of the two. So we're going to have a tap it rattle straight up. See how optimistic that was? We're going to have a tap it rattle. So in my head this is running, right? I'm going to mark that one so I don't forget him. Cylinder 4, and it's an exhaust valve. How do you tell that? Have a look at this. So I'm trying to show you as much as I can so that you completely bypass the fact we fail. But when I say it's an exhaust valve, see how it lines up with the exhaust manifold? And if you look, say, an intake, that'll be that guy there and that guy there. So 2 intakes, an exhaust lines up with that. That's our loose guy, lines up with the exhaust manifold. That's like the art of deflection. Gee, I really did learn something that episode. It's just a pity it's a complete failure and it didn't run. Well, the valve's definitely not stuck, it's just not popping back up. That could be a collapsed lifter as well. Say this valve was open, right? So the lobes at the top, the push rod's pushing up into the rocker. Well, the lifter can actually bleed down and stick down, and that would create that. So maybe it'll come good. Well, that made me a complete liar, because none of those valves sounded stuck at all. So maybe it is the cylinders hung up. So we'll try and give it another roll now. Maybe one was stuck just enough. No, that's dead. That is locked. Go the other way. No, that is dead set locked. All right, so we'll just try something a little bit more aggressive with the cylinders. A little bit of this nastiness. Surprised me a little that it's the cylinders, because I drowned this thing with WD. Well, I drowned it twice, once with water and once with WD after I drained the water. Everyone reckons combinations of transmission fluid and all sorts of stuff. Well, I think we're going to try them all here today. I can't quite remember which cylinder which was full. I think we're just going to go for a bigger bar. Oh, got it. Oh, and I've got my finger on the sway bar. go back the other way. I'm not taking that as a massive victory though, because I had that rolling over before. So literally it's only had 10 months, 11 months of sitting with a little bit of water, moisture in it. I won't even say water because I got it all out. Yeah, there he goes. She's back. The 202 is back. Oh yeah, completely back. Yeah, it's fixed, 100%. Small victories, Michael, small victories. So I want to go around twice to make sure there's no hard spots all the way around in those bores. She's a fairly primitive little setup. I've just jammed 2 little bolts in there. They're not threaded, I've just pushed them in, and just a screwdriver. But it's going to work. It's got one little hard spot there. But that's how it was before, remember? Righto, that's good enough for me. She goes around a couple of times. Bolts out. Let's throw a battery out at the start. No, it's not that simple. It might be. It might be that simple. There is no way in the world that starter is going to work. So let's throw a battery at it and see. I'm kind of kidding, and I'm also kind of not. I actually am just going to throw a battery in it and just see if we've got any excitement in the cab at all, if we've got any lights coming on, or whether or not we're going to have to go into the fuse box and just clean all the surface rust off fuses and stuff. I'd be happy just to connect it and jump the starter and just see if it wants to engage that starter. I guess there is the chance that maybe water didn't get into the starter. It's very optimistic. You're taking the piss. It's starting to sleet on me. We need a bit more rain. Yeah, it'd be a shame if the Commodore got wet. Is it the wrong battery? No. Going quite well at this point. We've got a battery that fits, you know, orientation wise. Now this could save me a lot of trouble if it would just catch fire and burn to the ground. So we'll see. We'll just power him up and wait for the flames. Key's already on. Oh, well, we've got some dash lights. Didn't realize. Oh, of course I had the key on because I was, you know, had the steering lock off so I could move it. Well, as suspected, we have absolutely nothing, but let's jump that starter and see what goes from there. I wonder if we've got lights. This would just be ridiculous, wouldn't it? We've got lights. There you go. All is not lost. What else can we try? No, nothing. Let's just jump this starter. So what I mean by jump the starter, this guy's now going to have power, right? Because your cable's going straight to there. So there'll be positive power here. And that guy, oh, that wasn't even on. Righto, so now I'm going to put that on. I'm going to try that key again. I'd say I've knocked that off at some stage. Oh, you are kidding me. But it sticks on. It's like an auto start. Sounds pretty good though, as far as rolling over. So I guess first job now is knock that old filter off, which has probably still got water in it, chuck some oil in it, and then we'll lube up. There'll be a shaft that runs down the top of that column, if it's the same as the older HQ through to WB models, there's a shaft that runs down the top of the column, and that's obviously sticking, and that's why it's staying on. So I'll just smash that with WD or something. We'll get some oil in it and see if we can't build some oil pressure. Get that old filter off. Okay, so I haven't really prepped at all for this one. I do not have new parts at all, but I have another 202, so I'm just going to pinch the rocker cover gasket that I broke. Oh, that's water or oil? I think that's water. So literally when the water rose up through the engine, it's pushed all the oil that far up and out of the motor. It's floated the oil out of the filter. Now we've got oil coming out, but it was water first. Right, like I was saying, I'm going to filter the rocker cover gasket and oil filter off another motor we removed from an old HQ, I think. As bad as this motor might look, that oil filter is actually brand new. I just didn't bother masking it when I painted it. And that rocker cover gasket is new as well, although right now I'm thinking that's the least of my concerns. I'll just grab the filter for now. It doesn't look new, but it is. Nothing but the best. This is going to be painful to put oil in it. Usually you just tip it in the rocker cover and it finds its way down, but with no rocker cover that's going to be painful. Yeah, fair bit of water in it. I know I'm overthinking the crap out of it, right? But I want to leave the rocker cover off and just make sure we're going to get oil to the top of the push rods, and they're all spinning. So if I leave the cover off, the oil returns is around the push rods. So tipping oil in there takes, you know, pretty much forever. There's only little holes here. So I've just pushed a tube onto the dipstick, I know, pipe, and a little funnel. Alright, round two. I got a little hand pump thingy. It was way too slow. It was painful, was what it was. So while I'm pumping away at this, I'm just thinking, what else should we do before we start winding on this thing? We'll disconnect the fuel tank in case it's still full of water. I haven't done a thing with that. Blow some air back through it. Come on. Oh, how does that work? Everywhere got wet and full of water. The one place you need water, no water. If it leaked out, surely it can leak back in. Work with me, Commodore, work with me. Jeez, leave that off so I don't forget, I suppose. I am a little surprised that starter motor rolled over. I'm not pulling it off though, I'm not poking the bear. It rolled over, that's it. I don't care if it's rusty and shitty inside. It rolled over. I'll tell you one thing I do like about old cars and pulling them out of paddocks and stuff like that, is trying to just dissect the story. Like what happened. Yeah, well that's right on the full as opposed to up here when it was full of water. Anyway, what I was saying was I like to try and dissect the story. Take a look at this. So I pulled my little oil buoy pump out of the dipstick tube and the whole tube came out. Why? It's because that bracket there isn't attached to anything. Well, where's it attached to? There, it should be behind the fuel pump. And so you go, well, has it had a fuel pump? What's the big deal there? But look, do you reckon fuel went through that? That is kinked off solid. There is no fuel going through that. And there's no other way that could have been routed and worked. I don't know whether it should have had a 90-degree end on that, or if we clean that pump up, I wonder if it was new back in 05 when it was last regoed. They put a new pump on it, it's never ran again. Am I overthinking that? Probably. But it's plausible. The evidence is right there in front of you. That's a fairly good kink. Overthinking it maybe, but it's possible. Did it get parked because it wouldn't run? Crazy. So that's off, and so far no water, but I'm going to pump some air up that line, just a little bit of compressed air. We'll pressurize the tank to a certain degree. Could you hear it coming out? Alright, we'll go a different way. I didn't hear any bubbling, anything. Surely this can't be empty. That's pressurized to hell. And there's nothing coming out the front. You can hear that tank expanding. And there's absolutely nothing coming out the end of that line, no air or anything. So we've got a blockage in that line somewhere. There could be a filter back there, whichever. All that means is I'll just forget that for the time being. Pump some fuel up here. It's not full of water. I can't hear it bubbling. Anyway, I'll put a fuel line on the end of that pump, disconnect it from the carburetor, and that way at least when we wind it we can start getting fuel from a fuel jug through that pump. Yeah, then clean out the carby, I guess, and then we'll start looking for spark. So I just got my little cutter and I've cut that piece of fuel line out. So from now here I'm going to have rubber line up to a filter and into that guy, but for now I'm going to connect that up to a fuel jug and then put that running back into another water bottle or something, just to see, one, if it pumps, two, if what comes out of it, and then we'll start working on that fella. Alright, so here we go. Don't worry about the colour of it, that's just a little bit of two-stroke in there just to give it a bit of lube, you know, down the track when it fires. Very optimistic. To the pump, see if the pump pumps, and it's going to send everything to there. So we're going to see in this bottle if that was full of water or whether we're right to try and run it. In the meantime, I think I'm going to have to get my shade out because it is pissing on me now, and there's no way I'm bringing the Monaro out into the rain in lieu of having that piece of crap in there. So I'll get my shade out and see if I can keep us a bit dry. Before I wind on it, I'll see if I can lube this column up so that key doesn't stay on. But at least now we've got oil, so while I'm winding it, hopefully it's going to get some oil pressure, and we'll see what the fuel's going to do, and then all we need is, you know, everything else. The key's coming good, look. Slowly. It's just really slowly coming back. Oh, mental note, put your hose in the fuel. Pretend you didn't see that. You didn't see it, I told you. Surprisingly, it sounds really good, but nothing pumped. Oh geez, it might have been starting. Just gonna try and prime me pump a little bit. I wonder if I'm working it a bit hard. What I mean by that is, if it's sucking air, it's not really gonna, it's gonna take a lot of effort to suck that bit of fuel up, but if it's got a little bit of fuel in the pump that can move, I might have more luck. I need luck. I'm gonna need lots of it actually for this one. Well, there you go. I've now got fuel coming out that other pipe. I've now got something that used to maybe resemble fuel coming out that other pipe. Let's wind it again. It's blue going in it's like a browny red coming out. Could be worse, that could be muddy water coming out. Tell you what, it does sound pretty nice and even. But that pump is definitely not sucking, but all that could be is engine speed too, so I'm going to completely ignore it and just leave it exactly the way it is, and maybe just try and clean the carb. Let me clarify my last statement about cleaning the carburetor. What I actually meant is I'm going to spray that much carby cleaner into it and then hit it with compressed air in the hope that all the crap that's in there comes out, because I've already flushed all the water out of it 11 months ago. I might get that out as well actually, and just see how we go. How bad could it be? Well, the little needle and seat looks alright. I'll leave that out for the minute and just do what I said. Just hammer this thing with carb cleaner and blow it out. Well, that's literally running out, so that's perfect. Won't connect that up yet. We'll hit it with some air. I reckon twice for good measure. That's rebuilt. I'll get that throttle to work and we might be rebuilt. Well, it's all working. Oh, let's completely move on then. Needle and seat back in. I'm going to sit this guy up kind of, you know, erect, just so I can gravity feed a bit of fuel down into it. You know, once we find if we've got spark. That's next. I'll just give a battery a bit of a freshen up. Just while I'm dicking about with, we'll clean some plugs, have a look how bad this, oh, I was going to say it wasn't turning on. I'll just have a look how bad this distributor is inside. Are they watertight? I guess we're going to find out. That'll be the next thing. The rotor buttons in the glove box. Filthy or not? Perfect. Absolutely, I won't say spotless, but it's good. I might clean that rotor up and put that back like I'd never even looked at it. And then maybe clean some plugs. These are the only plugs I have, so I'm just going to have to clean them up for now. We might give the old points a bit of a flick while we're in here. Always use the right tool for the job. Might give them a sand, because you know we're going to end up doing it later. I tend to use just like a little, you know, emery board or whichever, and just jam it in there. Go into the bathroom and pinch it out of your missus' cupboard. They love that shit, especially when they're looking for one. Anyway, so I just jam it in the points like that and then shut the points and go at it. Now in theory I should clean up that coil and all its connections, but I'm not going to. The fact there was a few things that surprised me. No water in the tank, no water in the distributor there. I reckon I'm just going to crank it, clean up these plugs and crank it and just see what we get, if anything. What's the worst it can do? Then I come back and clean stuff. I'm just going to bang this in hole number 1 there. Sit it on something metal. And give that a hell of a crank and see what we get. Where do I want to sit it? About there. No, nothing. Alright, so we'll go back and see if we've got power at the coil. It was worth a shot. It doesn't surprise me, but it was worth a shot. So we'll grab our negative over here. Maybe I should come closer. Grab my negative here. Can't even see which one's positive and negative. I'll figure that out later. We should have. Oh yeah, we got coil power. Got good coil power actually. Righto. So we're going back in that distributor for points, I'd say. Is that the right rotor button in it? Remember there was 2 different styles in that glove box. The fact that in the glove box there was points and another rotor button kind of telling me I'm in the right spot, isn't it? So how about I just keep cleaning up this, check the gap on them, keep cleaning up these points and see where we get from there, because that definitely has good voltage at the coil there. Where's that going to? Yeah, right, don't overthink it. Let's just keep going with the points. So I'll check and see if the points gap's even moving. And that would be a no. So here's what I'm saying, right? See the hump there and there? There's little lobes all the way around that shaft. And that little bit there rides on them. Well, that's sitting right on top of that lobe. And if you see there, if I move that wire, you can see there's barely, if any, gap there. So I don't even know if those points are opening wide enough. So I'm going to undo that body of that point and gap them a little wider and give it another. I said I'm going to undo that. Just going to undo that and give it a bit more gap. That's what I'm doing. I couldn't do it with one hand. So what's the perfect gap? What should it be? I know what I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it the width of that emery board. You're just going to make sure you don't go too wide, because then it's not going to close properly. So just to keep it simple, I'm actually going to change those points out with the set of drowned points that I found on the dash. I've just cleaned them up terribly, but they'll do, because I just think that that center of this part here, see that little bit that rides on the cam of that distributor, I reckon it's worn down. Clearly that'd be why they're in the glove box. Don't know if you'll see it in there where the points are, but you can definitely hear it. You can hear the damn thing cracking. Oh, that was nearly a failure, wasn't it? That's my test light. So I'll pop this back on. Alright, let's see if we've got some spark now, if I can sit this somewhere on a decent earth. Righto, that might not be good enough just sitting on that, but we'll see, we'll see. And we have spark. Not only do we have spark, we've got filthy fuel coming out of that pump. So I'll dump that out, check if we can get some clean going through there, clean the rest of the plugs, whack them in and hope we've got spark at every plug. start trying to fire it off. So going back together now with our plugs in, they don't feel that great on there, but I think we've got half a chance of getting some spark now. This is why I like to label them as you're taking them off, so you don't even have to think about firing or to chucking them back on. You're literally just throwing them back on. With a 6-cylinder like this, it's pretty easy to identify because the leads, I guess, are different lengths, but you could easily mix those two up, or those two, and throw your firing order out. So moral of the story, I like to label them. Just makes it easy. Let's dump some fuel down that thing and see what it does. Get my charger out of the way. Last thing I need is that ending up down there somewhere. Hook my throttle cable back up. Just fill in the bowls. I'm sort of bypassing the needle and seat. I just fill in the bowl, but I will put a little bit down there as well. No, that's just spewing out. Bit for good luck. Maybe pull a choke on. This thing's got a cable choke. Awesome. Let's see what we get, if anything. Should at least get a cough out of it, surely. And if I do get it to fire, I'm going to have to turn it off. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Hang on, hang on. Turn off light. Jesus. I'll get rid of that. And if we start getting clean fuel, I'll know we're getting somewhere. Get rid of that too. Start getting clean fuel, I'll just put a filter in that line and we'll start running fuel to it. Very excited. Let's hit it. Oh, first go. Ooh, did it just get oil pressure? Because that just sounded harder, didn't it? Sounded like it was harder to crank. Bit of excess fuel, see if we can't drown it for the second time. Choke's right. Oh, I wouldn't need choke now. I've drowned it with fuel. Probably less choke. More throttle. Right, so we fired and then stopped. So I'm going to say fouled plugs now because of all the shit that I threw down there before. I'll pull one and check. It doesn't look too bad. Probably another thing will be a massive vacuum leak. That wouldn't be helping. Maybe just give us some more fuel and see if she'll pop off. It definitely kicked though, hey? I'm not dreaming that. It definitely kicked. Wants to go. Come on. She'll live. Just give it time. She'll live. That fuel is still green. Wow. I wonder which cylinder's trying. Number one's having a go. You can just feel a bit of warmth. I'm going to ignore it, all of it, and just keep throwing a bit more fuel at it. I think those cylinders, all the WD and that I've sprayed in them, I've only got to get them to ignite once and I reckon they'll go. So, ignore it and keep winding until they get good fuel, and then I'll just plumb it into the carb. Wants to go, eh? Oh, come on, girl. Come on. Bit of a mix. Come on, darling. 1, 2. That's it. 1 and 2. So I've got 2 cylinders that are trying, and I'm just varying throttle position closed, throttle position open, choke closed. I don't know whether it wants more fuel or more air here at this point, because those cylinders have probably got that much WD and crap in them. Let's do it. What's our fuel doing? Oh, one more go and I'm banging a filter into that. And if it starts to run, I'll probably shut it down. Maybe I should do that now, because if it starts to run, I want to keep it running. Yep, that's what the filter's for. Let's do that. Alright, you got to remind me, little hose clamps. I am absolutely scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Terrible. But anyway, son of a... I'm actually not going to have enough. That one didn't even work. Neither did that one. That's too big. I have no hose clamps. Let's ignore hose clamps for now. What about that terrible piece of hose I had before from down there? Maybe that. I'm putting the filter right up top, right nice and high, so we can see exactly how destroyed it gets so quickly. We don't cause ourselves headaches thinking, what is wrong with this heap of crap? Actually, water. Let's put some water in it. Well, we're going to have a water leak somewhere, because that has taken a lot of water. And if I can not spill it, hopefully I'll be able to see where it comes out. Oh, if I can not spill it as I put it everywhere. Least of my concerns. Righto, come on, darling. Just going to try and pull up a bit of fuel in the bottom of the manifold, so that hopefully it'll grab a bit of vapour and we'll get a couple of these cylinders to pop. Oh, we are close. Come on, we are close. We've got fuel, but we are leaking fuel everywhere. I don't want this to backfire and that to go kablamo. I've got to find some some clamps. I have to find some. I got one off a fuel line from the free 327. I hate pilfering the stuff off already running gear, but I don't fancy a fireball today. Not today, any other day, yeah, no worries, but not today. Imagine that. Poor old Commodore sits in the paddock for 20 years, then gets drowned, then burns to the ground. Well, it just wasn't meant to be. That is probably the worst clamp on the planet. But, you know, matches the car. Oh, it's not going to work. Why? Why do you do this to me? Righto, find another one. I'm not even telling you where I got this one from. Just remind me not to drive the Monaro for a little bit, can you? Right. Now, where are we up to? Winding the shit out of it, that's where we're up to. Come on, girl. I don't see any oil yet, but we've got no engine speed. Oh, you are going to go. Come on. You are. I know that old heap of crap is idling. It's not idling well, and I reckon I need to bring the idle up a little, but it's idling. We've got that little chucket rattle at the back there. I can see where to bring this idle up. Nah, maybe I'll just leave it alone. I can't see where it is because it's vibrating. Let's get a little idle. The water's dropped down. We've got fuel. We've got our tappet rattle that's on there. I'll just sit back and just let her do her thing for a minute. Look at the crap that came out of the exhaust. I'm sort of surprised there wasn't a whole shit ton of water, to be honest. Look at that, I'd say I've got a bracket to do. It's pretty quiet already. I might just top that up. See, all the push rods are starting to spin. That one's not quite. Try and give them a bit of a helping hand. There's a few that haven't really got oil yet. Oh, look at the murky the murky coloured oil. That'd be a bit of water still trapped in the motor somewhere. I think I can see about 4 push rods that are not twisting yet. Just let him heat up and see if we can get all of our cylinders. I reckon that's about 4. And you can generally tell by touching the exhaust manifold that you know how that's going to end. It's going to be hot. So I'm going to do it. I'll tell you what, we're not far off 6 cylinders here. You hear that fluffing every once in a while? That's the other cylinder trying to come in. Come on. I'm not seeing water pouring out of it just yet. That's defied a few odds for me. There's no way I thought that starter would even wind over, and it did. Look at the caramel oil. We've got one rocker that doesn't have oil yet. We might have all cylinders there. Got a bit of blue smoke. That doesn't surprise me. All the shit that I put down that cylinder, or cylinders. Yeah, it's just one more. I'll go out on a limb and say it's number 6 because that rocker doesn't have oil, so that lifter is probably collapsed and not opening the valve enough. It's definitely back there. That is the only push rod that's not twisting. It's turning, but it's turning real slow. Whereas all the others you can see are going around. I'll drop that choke off. Oh, as soon as I drop the choke off. Don't touch the choke, Michael. Just let it do its thing. Do I start it or do I leave it and just let it try and free that lifter up for a second? I might just leave it for a sec. 202s, huh? Are they my favourite engine? Nah, not even close. A big block Chevy is, but geez, you can't kill them. The theory I'm going with here is if I can just let that lifter heat up a little bit, it might pop that plunger out. That is the only one that does not have oil coming to the rocker. And then I know that oil looks a little bit caramelly. There's going to be moisture inside that block, but to be honest, that's not enough for me to give a stuff about just yet. I want it to run, get it to move, and then I'll dump the oil filter later. If it keeps a miserable, if the weather keeps up being miserable, I'm going to use it to my advantage and just pressure clean everything with the rocket cover and air cleaner back on. Why did it stall when I took the choke off? Too lean. Maybe. I'll go again. I'll top up my fuel tank, and then we'll go again. Because the choke richens it up, right? That's what I'm saying, maybe too lean. So that all that'd tell me is the idle circuit in the carburetor is blocked. Who would have thought? Sitting for 20 years, idle circuit's blocked. Who would have thought that? But yeah, the choke restricts the airflow, which in theory richens the mixture. We'll see if I need choke to get it going again. Choke off completely. I'll just idle it up. So to idle it up, I'll show you. See that filler there? I couldn't see it before with everything shaking. But that guy there, if you screw it out, it will bring the idle up. So if I do this, it will slowly bring the idle up. Yeah, really slowly by the looks of that. Still that one. Our smoke stopped, but we're still down that one cylinder. You know what I want to do? Even I have limits as to what I'll see in. No clutch. Hey, you know how I can tell? No clutch. Alright, that's our next thing. I reckon rocket cover back on so I can give it a bit of rev without oil going everywhere. I'll show you. The problem will be with the rocket cover off. If I try to give it a bit of a rev, you watch the oil start going everywhere. I might twist that push rod and see if I can give him a helping hand. Why'd you do that? Why'd you stop? Did we just lose spark or something? That just shut off. I'll soon see if we lost spark. Fuel related. I'm just going to twist that push rod to just see if I can't help him out. Everyone else has come back to life good, so I'm actually going to whack the rocket cover on and maybe just pretend it's not happening. A few heat cycles, it'll come good. I'm actually surprised how smooth that sounds. Our lifter tick's gone too. Our rocker that was loose, that's gone, so that lifter's pumped up. Alright, I'll shut him down, get our rocker cover on it, and start to work on his clutch, I think. Good start. Rocker cover. For now I'm just going to bang this one back on, broken gasket and all, because I reckon I'm going to have it off 2 or 3 times. Checking, I mean, like I'll just pull it in a little while and check it. If we can get it to run, have it drive it and get some heat cycles through it, hopefully that little lifter will come back and we'll be fine and ready to hit the road. No, there's plenty to go. No, it's not going to work. The piece just broke, it just fell out of it. Right, I'll get that other rocket cover gasket. Should I just chuck the whole rocket cover on it? So rocket cover is back on, and that took me about 4 months, or it felt like it, but anyway, it's back on. So now I'm going to do something that probably has 0 chance of working. I'm going to put it in gear, start it, and see if I can shock that clutch loose. As I say, it's a very low percentage play, but I'm going to give it a crack. I can't get it into gear with the car running, so I've got it in reverse there now. Just shut the door, Michael. It wants to shut. Got it. I just got the clutch, just like that. I think our brakes are locked up as well. So how that works, I guess, is by putting it in gear with the clutch in and then hitting it with the starter, it's essentially trying to break the clutch free. It probably done damage to the clutch, but it's free. I don't know why that bugged me, but it did. Righto, so next thing I guess is have another go at it. I don't know whether the brakes are locked up or whether it's just because they're all flat. Spigot bearing. That's running good. I think the simplest way to find out if the brakes are locked on or whether or not it's just because every single tyre is flat and it doesn't want to move is literally just, oh no, lying, one's not flat, is literally just jack it up and swap the wheels to whatever I've got. When I've got it jacked up and the wheel off, I'll just check if it spins. Listen to that thing. Righto. Let's get onto it. We've got a clutch. Let's get some wheels. That doesn't look good. I wonder what that is. Brake on the back. There's something going on with it though. Looks good to me. Now these are not my first choice of wheels. They're not my bloody 27th choice of wheels really, but it's what I have. They're off the VS Commodore, which, which ironically it went underwater too. Now this thing's throwing stuff at me. But if they fit, they're going to make it roll. I just hope all the other ones turn over as well. I don't want some stuck brakes. It's just going to slow me up. I want to be washing this afternoon in triumph, utter triumph. And remind me before I go driving it too far, I've only got about 12 wheel nuts, so it's 3 a wheel. It's enough. Basically because the stock ones that I just pulled off are too big, they won't fit in the little holes. Perfect. I don't hate it. Yes or no? Never a doubt. There was heaps, but anyway, it works. Woo. This thing could drive this afternoon. The more I think about it, I should have known they were all free. I dragged it onto the trailer and it wasn't dragging a wheel, so it literally, they were just too flat for the poor old 202 to push them. All that suspense for that. God help me, I'm just not that bright. Mind you, when I dragged this onto the trailer, it was a long time ago. I know you just watched the footage, but I'm just trying to stick that locking nut in here. I don't know what I'm doing. No, as I said, you just watched the footage, but that was a fair while ago, so I'd kind of forgotten that I dragged it on without too much fighting. I'll just force it. Got it. Will this even be the right wheel nut? Yes. Lock nuts. No one's taken my shit. For one for every wheel. So I've actually come up with 4 nuts for every wheel. That's more than enough. Would have been happy with 3. And now that we've got our fancy mag nuts, you got to keep the lock nut safe in the glove box. Just goes to show you, you cannot write them off. This thing is literally driving. Get a go at it. Driving it. Nothing's working, but that's alright. Probably a little bit too much to expect everything to work, but Oop, second. I don't want to go any faster because I don't have any brakes. And she stalled. I bet you we just ran out of fuel. That's all that'll be. Might be a walk of shame. Yeah, still got fuel. I think I'm just going to fire it and try and go again then. What is that gurgling noise? I'd say the vacuum line runs in to run your heater. You can hear it gurgling, but anyway, I'll try it with a bit of choke and see if that fires her up. Oh yes, oh yes. Alright, back we go. Literally. Should I try the brake, do you think, or is that just pushing the point too much too soon? Maybe. Do I try it? All the way to the floor with nothing, so I'd say the piston's jammed in, so they'll start locking on any time about now, no doubt. No brakes, but I think that's expecting a little bit too much out of her. It's running great. I'm shocked. It's a little early to start celebrating, or is it? No, it probably is, but I'm pretty pumped with that. Got it to run, broke the clutch free, the brakes are non-existent, but what did you expect? It has changed the way I want to go about it. I'll be honest, the way I wanted to do this was the factory steel wheels, white wall tyres, leave the roof racks on, maybe even put that crazy mirror thing back on. That thing. She was all business with the towing mirrors and the bar, I guess. She was outback car, going, you know, first rooftop camper type of car. But I don't know now. I gotta say, those wheels are just what I had in the shed, but I don't hate them, and therefore I think they're gonna stay, and we're just gonna clean it up. I will take a look at the brakes first. So why am I sitting here? I don't know. Let's get the bar off. Oh, that was the reason, because I've changed my way of thinking. I'm going to leave the wheels. The roof rack's definitely going to come off for now. The bed's coming off, but whether the racks go back on later, I don't know. That's definitely not going on it, and the bar's going to come off. So let's get the bar off. The roof rack's off. Not put that on. The remnants of the weather shield off, and just get ready for a good wash down and some brakes. Stop talking to get in. Come on. The tiniest little piece of me wants to leave those roof racks, but I can't leave the bed. This just keeps getting better. I'm thinking, oh yeah, they got U-clamps holding the bed on. Nope. Here I am thinking, oh, well, that's not coming off in a hurry. Nope, it was just that bit of wire. That's all it was. That is truly redneck. Genius, but redneck. I had the ratchet there and everything ready to start taking it off. Overthought the shit out of that again. A little bit of me sad. A little bit of me isn't. You never know, you might see them again. Maybe not too. You watch now, I'll wash it. It's been through all the shit it's been through, right? Underwater. I'll wash it, never run again. I want to drown it with the pressure cleaner. I'll get some stands, we get this bar off. Geez, I'll tell you what, they put a lot of faith in this. These bolts are only little tiny bumper bar bolts holding that whole chunk of shit on. Anyway, get her off. Oh, that's her. I can see why they're only little bumper bar bolts, because they're just the factory bumper bar brackets. That's about as homemade as you get. Ironically, I think I'm going to need those brackets. Yeah, they're just the factory bumper brackets welded on. That might pose a problem because I have a bumper, but no brackets. They went to some effort. They even tried to get the side support right there. Had 2 goes at it, but went to some effort. But those, wow, that's it's going to be a challenge. Let's have a look at the master and these brakes. See if we can't get the trifecta today. Running, driving and stopping. Well, it's got fluid. Oh, the rear's low. I got to tell you, it doesn't shock me that the rear's low, because I proceeded to pull the drum off. I think it was on this side, so that one, and went, ooh, I don't want to know about what's in there just yet. But anyway, maybe it's time to know about what's in there. Geez, can I get that off without destroying that? Yes, is the answer. I can. Oh, it's low, but it's not empty. I'll fill him up and we'll start pushing pedals and see if we can't lock it all up solid, and you know, then it won't go anywhere. Fixed. Now I think we're going to have a little bit of work to do on it, but first of all we'll keep it basic and we'll just try and bleed it, eh? I just got a bit of fluid on my paint. I hope it doesn't ruin the paint. Alright, let's see what we've got. So my theory is, if I heat the alloy, might actually let go of that piston and we might get some brakes, or might get some movement. Might burn the whole car down too, but anyway. It's warm. See if I've got a pedal now. Mate, I'm telling you, it wants to live. They're garbage, but they'll be good enough to bleed. I wonder if we've got fluid leaking anywhere. If you remember with the ED we did recently, I put my foot on the brakes and just fluid went everywhere. So I guess I'll check straight up for obvious leaks. A bit hard when the ground's wet, but I don't see anything. That drum had a lot of moisture around it. Is that muffler new? Oh, stop looking. Is that resting on the diff? I think it is. Yep, stop looking. I've already changed my plans once with this thing. I'm just going to slow down. I'm not going to go for the throat on the brakes just yet. What I might actually do is pressure clean the whole damn thing. Clean everywhere I can, up, underneath, everywhere I can get at. That'll finish today because we haven't got that long left in today. And then first thing in the morning, as long as it's not pissing rain, or even if it is, I'll move the Monaro up to the house and I'll put him on the hoist and we'll just go through and see if we can't get brakes properly, not just brakes good enough to get around the yard or down the lane. We'll actually see if we can get brakes properly. Then we might either drain, well, there's nothing in the tank to drain, but what I was thinking was put something in it, try and drain it out and see how shitty it is. Pull the sender. Too many thoughts. Let's just clean it. Just clean it. Air cleaner on, put it over there, pressure clean. Well, that was a good pickup. I just chucked the air cleaner on and went, it's not even tight, so realistically water's going to sit there and run straight down that into the air cleaner, into the carburetor. So I might just put some tape around the top of that carb. Good pickup, Mike. Otherwise I would have done exactly what you said. Drive it over there, pressure clean it, and never start again. And in perfect timing, it is starting to rain. So we're going to pressure clean all of this crap off, all the moss. Oh, I might wipe up, start again, might wind up that window. Don't want any water getting inside. Done that joke a few times. That's impressive, that moss. Very impressive. At least if I get the outside washed today, that one's down too. Maybe I wound them down to let some moisture out. Yeah, maybe if I get it washed down today, get them up on the hoist tomorrow, see if we can get some brakes in it. If we get brakes and the outside's washed, the engine bay's washed, then we can start inside, start stripping out. I can't even get in now. Stripping out inside. We'll be halfway there then. Righto. Stop talking. Let's get the moss off. Day one. And yep, the white VB can for the VB wagon. Anyway, good start. Running, kind of driving. If we can get a roll on with the brakes in the morning, even just get front brakes right now, I'm just turning the key off and leave it in gear to stop it. But if we can just get front brakes, that'll be enough to have a decent drive, and that'll give me time to get into, I want to sand on it, strip out the interior. That's probably the main thing actually. So if brakes come around pretty quick in the morning, that'll give us the rest of the day to strip out the interior and all the mud, then sand on it and pressure clean inside and out in one go. I'm actually a little shocked. At the end of day one, clutch broke free, actually went into gear. Yeah, anyway, she wants to live. I don't hate these wheels. I know I've said it, I don't hate it. It's kind of reminding me the paintwork for HQ wagon we did a long time ago when I sanded on it and a lot of the red primer came through. Well, I don't think this will be quite as cool, but nonetheless, it's getting there. Righto, first thing in the morning, brakes. See you in the morning. Good start. So this morning it's not looking quite as daunting as it did yesterday morning. I'm going to set my sights low. I'd be happy with maybe half a pedal and 2 brakes. So let's get the Monaro out and stop talking and get into it. And if you haven't kept up with the Monaro, last episode we made it a running driving car, so now we've really only got the outside rust, the quarter and sill and guard and heaps of other, and then start getting the interior back in. So it's almost a car. Way better than pushing it around. So will it start after its big wash? Cold start. Like a clock, dead set. I was a bit rusty on the old manual then, and that spigot bearing's telling me it's not happy, but yeah, least of its concerns. So in accordance with keeping my standards low, I'm probably going to start with just heating this caliper ridiculously hot, and then just cracking that bleed and seeing what we can bleed out of it. They're actually, oh, I was going to say they're locked now, but they're not. So I was getting a little bit of pedal and a tiny bit of brake. I don't know which one's moving. That probably would have been a good thing to do while the wheel's on, spin it and see which one's moving. But anyway, I'll know very quickly when I crack that and nothing comes out. As I say, the heat's just going to be the same theory as the master. I heated the body of the master hopefully to free the piston. Well, that's what I'm going to do with this guy as well, if it ever works. At first glance I've got fluid here when I crack that, but I might clean that nipple out and just see why I don't have it coming out the nipple. Yeah, I've got fluid there. It's a good start. I've got something dripping over there too. It's water coming out of the frame rail, nothing to do with the brakes, so that's good. So just running a bit of MIG welding wire down that nipple. It was pretty blocked, so maybe that's all it is. We'll bang him in and see if I can push this brake and get something out of it. Oh no, she's still blocked. Oh no, she's good. Pushing down. Got fluid. And up. Down again. Yep, got him then. And up. Still feel really weird, like real hard. It's like that other side's locked. One more time, see if it's freed this one up. The caliper's cooled down now. No, that was better. And up. I'm going to call that good-ish, kinda. Two from two. I'll clean this guy out. Not hot. Oh yeah, hot. No fluid though. Righto, so push him down. Yep, straight away, fluid. Right down to the floor. And up. Down again. Oh, that'll do me. Good flow of fluid, both front brakes. Do I attempt the back or do I be happy with my low standards? This is definitely the one that was dragging a little bit. Your foot on the pedal? Mm-hmm. Yep. We have brakes. Release him. Oh. I'll put some more heat on that and I'm going to drive that. So I've just heated that piston area to about 1/8 of an inch of its life, and now I'm going to try and push that inside pad out. This is in the owner's manual, recommended procedure. Just put on the brake now. Oh, and off. Winning. Let's do some back. I'm feeling confident. Let's do the back. They're pretty new. Back in they go. I wonder if all that fluid over that other brake then is actually the problem that was fixed. Other two rear cylinders new. That's optimistic, isn't it? No fluid to the right rear. That's exactly what we need because this is the one you do burnouts with. So let's move on. That one's perfect. This is the one that looks like it's got a fluid leak though. New again, and it's clean. So down on the pedal, and up, and up. We have no rear brakes, but that's good enough for me. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I will guarantee you it is the rubber line that goes from the body to the diff. Why do I guarantee you that? Because it always is. That's why we've got no fluid at the rear. I'm happy with no fluid at the rear though. That's good enough. Righto, so you got me. How confident am I it's that hose? Pretty confident, so why don't you just do it? I'm gonna. We could be 15 minutes away from full brakes, so it's worth the effort as long as I don't break a fitting. Why did I say that? This is the hose here I'm talking about. What I'll probably do is I'll try and crack, or is that poking the bear? See, I'll say I'll crack one of these lines. Yeah, I suppose I've got to crack both of those lines. If I've got fluid there, then it made a liar out of me. But that makes it easy, because then it's only that line to there and that line to there. Why have we got a shiny patch there? Looking for evidence of more failure. Stop looking. Oh, see why we've got moisture there? It's dripping out of the frame rail. We might have to give these a good solid wash. Hey, I'm just going to pause here for a second. There is not a rust hole in that floor anywhere. Maybe if I keep looking, but let's stop looking. But I can't see a rust hole. I can see a hole in the exhaust, but no rust holes. Even the inner sills are good. Right, let's get on with it. Get this broke free. Actually, I might do the front first, because if I've got no fluid there, that'll tell me it's not that, and then I can give that a chance to prove me wrong. This one first. Surprisingly, the lines look in remarkably good condition. There is another thing I should not have said. Why do I do that to myself? And heat it up to just before it turns to molten magma, and it'll be fine. So just before you see the carpet on the inside of the car start to catch fire because the floor pan is glowing red, oh, did I strip it or did I get it? I think I stripped it. Yeah, okay, vice grips. There you go. There you go. Now all you want to do is just grab it and burn every print off your fingers that you can. Yeah, it's hot. You reckon? Why do you think that is? Is it because you just hit it with a blowtorch for like 11 minutes? Yep. And he tries it again because he's that retarded. Okay, I've got no fluid dripping out at this point. So I'll bring him down and I'll just gently put my foot on the pedal and see if I get a leak. And now I'm kind of glad I broke forward of that rubber line first. Otherwise I've got two lines at the back to undo and it wouldn't have made any difference. I've got no fluid there at this point. Don't lose faith. So you've got to watch there for fluid. Sing out if you see fluid. Try not to get on your butt. I just saw something else too. One of the mud flaps has gone there, so before we let it down, remind me to grind this one off. Well, actually the other three are still intact, so let's get them off before I get it off. The hoist, anyway, we've got fluid. So now I need to knock that clip out, those two lines, and clean that guy out. Well, I've got to take two lines out anyway. No, don't overthink it, just knock those lines out. Just pulling on that, it just wants to bend that bracket, so I'm just going to get something on it. Oh, guess what that was? Got him. You reckon that's hot? That's what it did to my thumb too. Yes, I am that stupid. I will tell you though, I've got fluid there. Might be stupid, but I'm excited. Excited stupid. I'm stupid excited. It's like next level excitement. How excited are you? Stupid excited. Okay, so that is the pair of them cracked. So if I now jump on the brake and I've got fluid, is it still hot? Yeah, it is. What do you expect? If I get fluid both sides, then I would say it has made a liar of me. You're still going to keep trying, aren't you? All types of specially stupid. Like I was saying, if if I jump on the brake, I'll connect that one back up. If I jump on the brake now and I get fluid squirting out of both sides, then it has made a liar out of me, and it's going to be two locked up wheel cylinders. But again, not a bad result, and I can get them overnight. Ready? Fluid. Anything? It's the rubber line. Nothing at all, not one bit. Oh well. So the fluid that came out of there when I cracked it is obviously in that line, but there's no pressure coming through that line, although that just dripped. It's the rubber line. See, this is where I throw in a bit of a disclaimer. This is where you go and buy a new product. There it is, right there, right there. This is where you go and buy a new product of the highest quality, because it's your brakes. Either that, or you get a piece of MIG welding wire and jam it in it. Jeez, maybe, oh no, that one's through. Generally they rust the inside of that crimp fitting, and I'm feeling that that is the case because it feels like it's stuck right there. Oh, got it, just like that. And just to check them all the way down. Yep. Bit of brake clean or something through it and we're good. I said bit of brake clean through it and we're good. Please be good. More jamming. Might have to go air first. But I mean, look at the colour of that. That's what's coming off it. Run some air through it. Got it that time. I'm going to do more work to that because that wasn't very convincing, was it? Good enough for me. And when you're doing these hard lines back up, make sure everything you can still move around and wriggle as you go in. Make sure you're going in finger tight first, because they're easy to cross thread. Because there's a hard line, there's a lot of side load on them. At least have the flexibility there that you can move it and understand that the thread isn't cross threaded as you go in. Because at this stage of the game, if you cross thread a brake line, you will name yourself unmentionable things that you didn't even know you were. We're a couple of brake pushes away from greatness. Okay, push him down. Yes, fluid. And up. Down again. I don't know if you can see the colour of that, but that's horrendous. And up. Down again. And up. Beautiful. Completely substandard, inadequate brakes complete. If these brakes are even the slightest bit usable, there's no reason they shouldn't be. The front were working. The back's now getting fluid, although I think the blockage is travelling. That one, the right rear, was a bit sad. If they're anything remotely close to usable, I'm stripping the interior. I've never been so excited to strip what was 20 years of rodents home, then got wet and marinated for 11 months. I've never been this excited to deal with that, ever. Pretty excited. Surprises me, but pedal feels good. Choke. Wait, what were you supposed to remind me before I take it off the hoist? Mud flaps. You had one job. Just remind me. Oh, get them off here. That makes all the difference. It does to me. Righto, let's drive it now. It's kind of acting like it's got a bit of a vacuum leak, and the fact the econo gauge isn't working is probably telling me that. Could just be garbage in the carburetor too, making it hesitate, but I'm going to say it's a vacuum leak. So there's not a lot of vacuum leak options. There's vacuum advance there, which is connected. The booster is one option. If the diaphragm is split on that, the more I'm pumping the brakes, the bigger the split's getting and the worse it's getting. But I've got no dash, so I'm going to assume there's something. Oh well, yeah, there's not just something going on with that. Take a look at that. It's rubbed through on the firewall. And that's got crap all in the end of it, does it? I'd say that's my leak anyway. And maybe that guy too. I might pull that out and block both of them and see if it runs any better. And the more I look, I'd say that's another one. So I'll block those two up. That one, and maybe even the third. The vacuum advance looks okay. See if it runs any better. Then again, it could be dislodging a bit of crap in the carby too. Like, we didn't exactly do a rebuild on it. I just blew it out with carb cleaner. Might do that again. I'll try that now with that vacuum line blocked up better. I'm going to give the booster the benefit of the doubt at the minute, and I just blew the carby out, hence the fuel everywhere. Take it out of gear, Mike. These manuals can be tricky. So just at a glance, it seems better. Why have I got bubbling? Why are we bubbling? I hear bubbling. I wonder if we're pressurizing stuff. Got a bit of water missing. Anyway, moving on. It didn't seem to be dying as much when I was like letting the clutch out. It was really dying, like you had to feather it. So I hope that's probably all it is. Righto, let's strip the interior. You know I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of a case of where do you start? I guess where I'm going to start is anything I want to keep, which is that. Throw in a box, and everything that I don't, throw away. I'll keep that. What else is in the console there? That's the fuse cover, isn't it? bonnet pull snapped off. Righto, so there's not a lot I'm keeping. That's that, and then we'll just get everything else out of here. One thing at a time, just start stripping. Get that gate open, that's probably the first thing. Oh, that just would have been the icing on the cake. The old aerial on the guard. It's got one. Wonder what that one's for. You know, towing mirrors, another aerial. I will keep that. Gonna need that later. Fuse box cover. I can tell it's gonna fight me. I can't even move the seat. I know it's gonna fight me on this one, my own damn head. This is horrendous. So the key just worked, but now the button's stuck in. Oh no, it's come out now. I wonder if I've now locked it. Yes, I locked it. I expected to see rust somewhere. Surface rust, I get that. I just expected all along here to be rotted, because the outside, I don't know, it's not great. There's no real bubbles. There's nothing any good in here, that's for certain. So let's get this spare tyre out, that carpet that's disintegrating as we speak, and find out what's under that cover. Notice how when I couldn't move the front seat, I came to the back. I'm trying to put off the worst job, and that will be to getting in underneath that seat to get those bolts. Do they come in from the underneath? The Commodores have, I'll have to look, maybe. You know, like the Kiwis, you bolt them down that way. Are these ones up this way? No, they're not. They're down that way, through the top of the rail. The seat rail, that is. That's awesome. Do you reckon, whoa! Do you reckon we've had, I was going to say brake issues. That's a trailer brake hub. That's the old jack. A seat belt out of something, a spare belt, a couple of hoses. And a trailer hub. Just in case you're needing one, a hubcap. Just in case you need one. Maybe it came off the trailer. And then a heap of chain. I'd say if there's going to be rust, it'll be under that, because that is that nasty insulation that just holds moisture forever. Unbelievable. Not only is it not rusted out, it's barely a spot of rust in it. They've painted a bit of primer or something over a few little spots, but there's not a hole, nothing. The only rust I've really found in the car is there. There's a tiny little spot I saw when it was on the hoist in one of those sills, and then that. So stop talking and get it cleaned out. Alright, I will. Jeez, pushy. So I'm going to pull all of these drains out, because when I pressure clean it, I'm doing everywhere. It'll have silt in it from the river water everywhere, so I've got to get everywhere plus some. They're all still rubber too. What I mean by that is some of them you touch and they just turn to dust. Oh, very flash. Bit of plyboard. Sterling. I wish that had a date on it. I genuinely do. They weren't coming out. Look, they glued them, and they got speed clips on them, and they're soldered. These were never coming out. Oh, that was almost stuck to the other seat. Oh. I think I can feel some tetanus entering my body. Ugh. The carpet's blue. The interior is, I just assumed it was brown because of the mold and the shit. It's blue. I don't know about you, but if I took a punt on ordering carpet, I would have ordered beige, like a biscuity coloured brown like that. Is that console blue as well? Oh my god. Don't know. I guess we'll find out. See if I can get some seat bolts here somehow. They just come out with no, they're only clipped in. They're, oh, yum. Dead set, I can't get over that. Blue carpet with a tinge of green and rat shit. I think to get these seat bolts, see they're in the rail there, you can see half a head of one there. I'm just going to have to drown these rails in WD and then try and just shift the seat forward and back if I've got any WD left. Come on. And then just try and slide the seats forward and backwards until I can get them to move far enough so I can get to the heads. Oh, it's going to be harder than I thought. Oh geez, it went back but it won't come forward. Oh, here we go. Righto, let's get this one out. Well, that's one, but the only real downside was I had to put my face really close to the seat, so I've definitely now contracted something that I wouldn't even know how to pronounce. But I definitely have it, whatever it is. Check this out. That's the seat cover. See? Contracted something. I don't know what the name of this thing is, but it's got to be something to do with getting drowned in a river or a river rat or something like that. Mate, it's terrible. And yet every time I go to do something, it works. Fair dinkum. I shouldn't say negative things about it. It's great. We're getting there. I reckon console, some seat belts, and we might actually see a floor pan, but I can already tell you it's awesome. From underneath it looked fantastic. Console, find some screws. Oh, no, there might not be any. No, there might not actually. That might be really, oh, there'll be one there. Righto. I still don't know what colour it is, but I'm going to say it's black. I think the blue on it's just the seat cover disintegration. This is going to get weird. Come on, don't flick. Imagine that. You get it, flick it, and all that shit lands right in your mush. It could still happen. No, we're going pretty good. I'm going to have to... Oh, there's heaps and heaps of insulation. But I'm still confident there's no rust because from underneath it's absolutely perfect. Reluctant to touch it. How is this not rusted? Look at the thickness of that. This has been underwater, for God's sake. That one's still wet, but that could be me getting in and out for the last couple of days, or last day. Could be me pressure cleaning it last night too, because there's nothing to say that plenum doesn't leak. That's all one piece, so I'm going to have to take those seat belts out first. Bit disappointed. I was hoping for a few bucks in change, you know, to make it all worthwhile, but anyhow. I know I've already said it, I can't get over. This has been wet. It's been underwater. That's dried out. Usually when that sort of underlay gets wet, it stays wet for an eternity and everything gets destroyed. Maybe I got it just in time. I'm going to pull the drains out of the lowest point like there, because when I pressure clean there will be no prisoners taken. All that mud, even in that dashboard, we're going to get rid of every ounce of remnants of this. Went to the bottom of the river. It didn't go to the bottom, the river came to the top. You know what I mean. It got wet. So probably the closest thing I can give you to rust so far is when I started pulling up some of the sound deadening on this side. It's up there. A little bit there. I wouldn't mind getting all that sound deadening off, but some of it's still pretty well attached, so I've got all the loose stuff off. It's not bad though, considering what it's been through. A little bit of rust in a floor and you'd spot weld that. That bit in that back beaver. I think door trims, and we're ready to pressure clean in the morning. Let's get these door trims off. Dead set, you're taking the piss. These clips on these fellas, right, go on that way. I just fought for I reckon 15 minutes with that because somebody put it on the wrong way. They don't go on that way, they go on that way, alright? So break the clutch free, get the brakes working, get the thing to run, and a clip is the one thing that does my head in. The only way that could have got better is when I got it off, if it went ping and I never saw it again. Anyway, we're nearly there. I can see it's starting to get the better of me. We're nearly there. It's a good day. But it ain't over. 3 trims to go. Haven't even got this one. 4 trims to go. I'd almost go out on a limb and say that's never been off. Yeah, I was in two minds, right? Take the door trims off. I'm glad I did. There is nothing but mud. Sorry, plastic. I could still probably stick that back on, I guess. Stripped out, ready to roll. So first thing in the morning, it is pressure clean this thing from hell. The only door trim that I think had ever been removed was that one there. Only because it didn't have the spring on that, but I mean, that doesn't mean anything. It's just that it's obviously at one stage it was a pretty well kept old wagon. I think I said it was only 170 something thousand Ks and not rotted out. She'll come back to life in the next 2 days. Tomorrow will be pressure cleaning and then we'll see where the rest takes us. That job wasn't really that hard. It was more of a mind over matter. Pretty easy to strip the car out, but it was what you were trying to strip out that was... I know I've contracted something, I just don't know what it is yet. I guess we'll find out in the morning. So all jokes aside about what I've now contracted, it was actually a pretty good day. I got all that disgusting filth cleaned out, the seats are all out obviously, and tomorrow it's pretty much going to be start to finish pressure cleaning, and I want to start sanding. Pressure cleaning probably only half the day, and then obviously sand on the paint and then more pressure cleaning. But I do have to prep you for more failure. Two things, mind you, every time I've prepped you for failure, it's, you know, the clutch, the motor. Anyway, so I've got 2 days left. This is only the end of day 2. It's all stripped out, ready to pressure clean, but I've got to go back to work 3 days from now, so I've got 2 days left. And tomorrow being pressure cleaning, I want to give it longer with no carpet in it. If ever there was a car, see, that's still got sound deadening and stuff in the floor, and without taking every bit of it off, I just want the moisture, if there is any under it, to get the hell out. So I don't want to put carpet back in it. Not yet anyway. And the other thing is I haven't ordered carpet in anticipation, so there's no way it's getting here in 2 days, and tomorrow's Saturday. So on a weekend, haven't ordered it, it ain't turning up, simple as that. So I don't want to put it in. The seats, on the other hand, I reckon I will chuck them in the front just so I can drive it. And the door trims, I'm not going to pressure clean them, I'm just going to scrub them down. So doors will be back together, patina done. I'm predicting what's going to get done here. Hope there's no hurdles. Patina, doors back together, lube up all the mechanisms and everything. They're pretty good, but they just need lubing up. Back seat can stay out because it really needs more time to dry out, and carpet can stay out, but we can still drive it. Brakes work, it's running good, clutch is working. Big prediction. I still can't get over this thing, the lack of rust. Little tiny bit in that floor, but I mean, geez, if you're really that concerned, if you stone guarded that floor or rust proofed that floor heavy enough, it'd fill the little tiny pinholes that are there. It's really nothing. Little bit in that back tray, and I can't remember which sill it was, but I saw one little pinhole on a sill. 170k, not that rusty, 4-speed. It deserves to come back to life. See you in the morning. I know, I'm overthinking it. But I was thinking I'll put some fuel in it in the morning. Whatever is in the bottom of the tank, if anything, should be softened, and I should be able to pressurize the tank and get something out of the tank. If it comes out and it's a heap of silt, of mud, then you'll know water got into the tank, it's settled, but it evaporated. The odds are, did that seal? Did it not get water in there? Because I didn't even get a bubble. When I was blowing air back through that line, I did not get a bubble, not a fizz. Yep, I'm overthinking it. I just want to know if I can connect up this tank to that fuel pump and run the thing off the tank. Massive win for the sake of a couple of litres of fuel. So I can't help myself, I'm going to give it a bit of a stir. So I've jammed a bottle over the end of the fuel line there, and I'll just see, I'll give it a bit of a blow back that way to stir it up. And yeah, I will leave it overnight, but I'm impatient, I'm going to have a go. So I'll pressurise that and just see what the colour of the fuel is that comes out there and how much dirt's with it, and then I'll do it again in the morning and see if it's bringing anything new with it. This is becoming a bit of an occurrence, isn't it? I say see in the morning, then we still keep going. But here's why. You go hard all day, you sit down, you recap the day, you relax for a second, you crack a beer, and that kills off the dumb brain cells, the bad ones, and leaves the smart ones. So you think of something good to do. Clever, if you will. Oh, it's fuel. Is it dirty? Is that water? I don't think there's any water in that at all. A little bit discoloured, but I'm going to stick to the plan. I'll give that till tomorrow to soften whatever's on the bottom of the tank. Remember that colour, and we'll see what it comes out tomorrow. Now I'll see you in the morning. I guess it's not black after all. It's just workshop degreaser and just a red Scotch-Brite. And clean up the trim as well. Those seats definitely need it. They're buggered, but they'll be clean. I know my pressure cleaning regime might seem a tad harsh at times, but what have I got to lose? It's been underwater basically to here. And it's not the water that makes them rust. It's the dirt in the bottom that holds the moisture for a long time. That's what makes them rust. So if you get these doors perfectly clean inside, they're not going to rust. It won't matter that they're wet. And I mean, have a look inside this. And this front one, there's some guy out there restoring a VB going, I want your doors. They probably pay more for a decent door than what I paid for the whole car. Part of my clean down is Scotch-Briting too. Just takes that stain off. And the glass, Scotch-Brite the glass, brings all that crap off. You may as well. I might wind that one up and get him, but just so when it goes back together, look, it might not look the best, but at least it won't feel like you're a lab experiment when you get in it. So I reckon I've gone around this about 5 times now, and I'm to the point where I'm kind of happy. As terrible as it looks, it's actually clean. Inside the doors, inside the jams. And so now we'll start on the outside, sanding the patina. So time to sand on this paint, and I do get a ton of questions and messages going, hey, want to patina my car, what do I use? Well, it's kind of impossible to tell unless I could actually have a solid look at what is there, what it feels like, that's a thing, how rough it is, and what's the desired result. What are you trying to achieve? Do you want to clear coat it? Do you want to wipe something on like a penetrol, like that product? Or what are you trying to achieve? On this one, I can tell you I'm going to sand on it rather than Scotch-Brite it. Scotch-Briting is good for cleaning, like I did inside the doors, inside the door jams, right there, and it just takes that orange stain off. Obviously, I missed that bit. I'll show you what I mean. So, say with a Scotch-Brite, you wanted to clean it and get rid of the orange stain. Well, it will do that. If you see, it's taken the orange stain away, but when you feel it, it's still rough. So if you're going to clear coat over it, I wouldn't say Scotch-Brite. If you just want to leave it raw, as in clean it down and leave it like that, then yep, Scotch-Brite's great. So if I'm prepping for clear coat or penetrol, which is probably what I'm going to use on this one, just because of the time of year, it's too cold for painting or for clear coating, so I'm going to sand it to penetrol it. So what type of sandpaper or what grade of sandpaper? Again, without seeing it, impossible to say, but I would say, as a general rule, the coarsest sandpaper you can without leaving scratch marks. That makes sense? If you're leaving scratch marks, it looks deliberately done, And I'm not trying to deliberately take paint off. I just want it smooth so that when you wipe the penetrol on, it goes on even, nice, semi-gloss, that sort of thing. You're going to run into the problem where, and this is getting technical, a lot of words, you're going to run into the problem where if you do use, say that's a 400, right? Probably a little coarse by my own rule is it will leave a couple of scratch marks when it's first used. It's nice and sharp. But the roof's going to be hard going because it's all surface rusty. It's very rough, so it's going to blunt off very quickly. And that's why I think I can get away with 400 when I start getting down around the bonnet and that sort of thing. What about though, are you now sanding off too much paint and losing your effect? And the example I'll give, if I sand all of this blue with 400, there'll be none left. It'll literally just sand it off. So it's going to be a bit of surface rust, hit it with the 400, maybe drop back to an 800 going over the blue and just really gently over it. What's the moral to all that? There is no rule. It's just have a crack at it. The bonnet, I would say we're going to lose a lot of this white. What I mean by lose a lot of this white, you can see how thin it is. I'm only just going to touch that and I'll be straight through it. That's not even smooth. And see what I mean? You can just see little coarse scratches there. I'm not worried about it on the roof because I'm going to have to go fairly coarse to get through all this crap. And then I'll get finer. The paper itself will become finer as it bluntens off. I can literally remove paint with my finger. So I'd say that bonnet is pretty much going to look primed by the time I'm finished. But I'll stop talking, I'll get into it. So this is time consuming as hell, and I just get an old chamois and just go at it. Actually, you probably could, I'll flip it back over, you probably could leave it raw and wipe a bit of penetrol on it. I do like the effects once it's, let's try it, I'll show you first. I like it smoother, but let's have a go. So I just put a bit of penetrol on that rag. See, it's sort of a dull, you'd almost say it's no sheen at all, but when you get it on a nice bit of paint, it'll just come up that little bit glossier. So sanding it smooth does make a hell of a difference. Like say this experiment corner that I used, that's the difference there. I just like how that looks. And yeah, I know that was a lot of words, a lot to take in. Moral of the story, I like how it looks when it's sanded, and you've got the option of clear coating it or just wiping penetrol on it until it warms up and you can clear coat it. It is time consuming, but I'm not in a hurry. I'll spend the rest of the day. The sun's kind of trying to come out, so anyway, grab a can. There's no rules, you can't mess it up. Take your time, kick back and enjoy it coming back to life. We're all sanded down. I'm just washing all the rubbing sludge off of it. I'll give you a look around it, but the weather is really sort of kicking my ass. I've had to put my seats inside now because it's starting to rain again. So lucky I didn't commit to clearing it. Wouldn't have been happening. We can still do the bar though. I've got to cut those brackets off, look. I can still do this. I've got to cut those brackets off somehow, and then somehow get them welded onto that. I don't think the welding on will be the hard bit. It's the cutting them off. I might have to cut off from the front, but irrespective of the weather, we can definitely do that. I better clean it up so it matches the amazing wagon. Getting these brackets off, I don't think it's going to be that easy. I can't get the grinder down just to nip those brackets off in there. So I think I'm just going to have to butcher it, just chop larger sections out and just pick it away. Obviously homemade, but they've gone to some trouble with it. There's the date, if you're wondering. Gone to the trouble of dating it 16th of the 9th, 97. Anyway, redneck ingenuity at its finest, but let's see what I can do with these brackets. Now I'll just trim that up, I guess, to start cutting the bulk away. stage 1 complete. Now just to tidy them up. So I've got my brackets professionally trimmed up, and I was looking at this bar thinking I'm just going to have to weld it to the back and move that mold somehow. But when you look at the back, which I didn't realise, there's a nut. Well, there's a bolt that needs a nut. So what I did is I've drilled the factory hole back through the bracket, and hopefully, and yep, I know that's the wrong side, but just chucking it in there for now. If I can loosely bolt that on there, we might be able to get this bar on. So I just got to find 2 nuts that fit those bolts. So I was struggling to find nuts for the back of those until I went, oh, hang on, you reckon that's the right size? So we're just taking the driving light mounts off, and lo and behold, they were the same size. So I've got a couple of nuts. I've just got to get that guy off. We'll get these brackets on. Just like that. Get on there, like that. Now I've got to lay on me back in the wet. Not being ungrateful, but I'm over this miserable weather. Oh, so now rain's heavier. I shouldn't have spoke. I'm not putting the Monaro out in the rain. I'll call it quits for the day before I'll put it in the rain. Not because it's precious, because it leaks. You stand there in the dry. I'll get this. It's a terrible bar, but it matches the car. So that is probably it for today. What I didn't notice when I was going to that huge effort of putting those brackets on that bar is that when they were attached to the bull bar, they'd obviously been loose and flapping around, so the threads are completely stripped out, so those bolts are barely tight. Anyway, it matches the rest of the car. Garbage. I shouldn't be so critical of it. From what it was to what it is now, it's running and driving. Tomorrow I'm going to have to take it as it comes, because the weather's obviously not helping me dry out any interior. I can get the door trims in, because I didn't drown them. I could just wipe them off. I could put them in, as long as the insides of the doors are pretty dry. And I'll just fish oil inside and, yeah, maybe bang the trims back in. But we'll see how we go. I don't think those seats are going to be... It's not a matter of thinking. I know they're not going to be dry. They're going to take ages. This is one I'd actually like to leave the carpet out of for some time, as I said yesterday. And I didn't even get a chance to penetrate it before the rain started coming, so right now it's just got a good wash. We haven't driven it since I fixed those vacuum leaks. That'd be an interesting one, so maybe tomorrow is more of a shakedown. Oh, fuel tank. We can connect the fuel tank up. I'll see what crap comes out of that fuel tank. I won't stir it up again today. I'll leave it for tonight. In the morning, that's the first place we'll go. See what we get out of the tank. See if I can run it off its own tank instead of my little drink bottle up the front here, I mean. And then door trims, and maybe just chuck one seat in so I can at least have a bit more of a drive. Anyway, rambling now. Big day. Tedious day. A lot of elbow grease. I'll see you in the morning. So first up this morning, I'm just going to fish oil inside of all the doors. And it's nothing elaborate. It's just regular old fish oil. I like it. Spray them in all of the doors. What is that in there? That's a chunk of wire. At some stage we had to break in or something, did we? Anyhow. And then lube up all the window mechanisms. Make sure they're free and they work. Not too bad, but I'll lube them up anyway. And door catches, just so they work nice and smooth as well. rather than hit these with the pressure cleaner, I'm just going to be a bit gentle on them. They'll come up right. Those bits won't obviously, but still the rest will come up fine. So that's about as together as I can get the interior right now. Only for the fact that there's still water running out of the other seats. Just for once I've just ran out of time on this one. They're still very wet. And I want to give this one a bit more time to dry. The seat come up good, but she's still draining. But you get the idea. It's almost back together. Hood liner's looking cleaner. Back tray's looking good, no rust under there. The last thing I want to do is pressurise this tank again and see what sort of filth starts running out that fuel line. So in with my little catch bottle, and let's see what we catch this time. So bear in mind this is now 2 nights of being settled. So whatever that fuel's been in there should be softened by now. So we'll see the colour, and if it's not too bad, I'm going to bang a filter in that, just run it straight up the main tank. Just wait for me old mate the compressor to shut up. There's not even a lot of crap in the bottom of this corner. There's the tiniest bit of, I don't know, can you see that in that bottom corner? Don't know whether it's moisture or what, but to be honest, I'm banging a filter in there prior to the pump. We're running it. Okay, scratch that. I don't have any filters. And I still don't have any clamps, so I'm just going to loop it, hope it doesn't leak, and I'll have to get filters and clamps. I can't get over that. That cap must have just sealed from water getting in there to that tank. I thought that tank would be absolutely chock-a-block full of water. Nope. I guess this will give you an idea of how confident I am, which blows my mind, because you get ones that you think will be easy and they just fight you and fight you and fight you, and then there's this one that I thought this was the one that was going to beat me. Insane. 2 decades in a paddock, underwater, 11 months sitting there. Let's go. I might even give her a little warm up, just to let that fuel catch up, because that line's going to be empty. So if she stalls, it's because the fuel's catching up. Have a listen to it. That's on high idle with the choke out. No smoke, got all 6 cylinders. Be interesting to let it warm up and see if that vacuum leak's obviously gone, but whether it drives a bit better with the vacuum leak gone. At least you can see all the gauges now, see that they don't work. Definitely goes better. My God, who cleaned this windscreen? I'm sacking that dude. I reckon I've got to jump under and find out what's going on with the speedo. It should only be an old cable style, but the vacuum gauge wouldn't work because of that vacuum line that's busted. Oh, and our brakes are coming good. That's excellent. Not running into stuff is good. And yeah, I guess time and also the weather caught me out on that one. I really can't go any further with the interior, but if I was going to do another episode, what would I do? Well, one, let the interior dry out. If we put carpet in that, are we starting to look for lights and things like that? Are we looking rego? Yeah, maybe. I'd definitely cut some out of the back springs, drop it down a little. You never know, you might see it again. But I am taking it as a win, even though it probably doesn't feel like it, but I'm taking it as a win because the one thing I'll say is it's not where I found it, parked for 20 years in a paddock. It's not where it ended up, drowned in our front yard. Not only does it run now, but drives with a 4-speed. I love the 4-speed. So if I wasn't going to do a next episode on it, what would happen with the VB? Well, it'll go up for sale. It doesn't owe me a lot of money. I think the wheels owe me more than the whole car does. And we didn't throw a lot of parts at it. Remind me, I need filters and clamps. Anyway, we really didn't throw a lot of parts at it. In actual fact, fresh oil, and I stole that oil filter off the other 202. What did we throw at it? Did we throw any new parts at it? Oh, yeah. New points that I found in the glove box that had been underwater that were rusty and I had to clean them. Like I said earlier, I've had ones that you think this will be pretty straightforward and they've fought you and fought you and fought you. I still can't get over this thing. The tank wasn't full of water. It runs and drives. Anyhow, I'll see you next time and thanks for watching. Oh, do hit the buttons and stick around. You won't believe next episode. I'll see you then. There's the camera. I don't know what that was, but I don't want to think about it either. That was fucked. Sorry, can't say fucked. People get offended. That was shit house. Sweep out the loose debris and that sort of stuff and kill that dog.